Let's have a fun show. Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it? Especially if you love the movies. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, your sommelier of sci-fi and cinema, or as John Campea calls me, your existential Mr. Rogers, but you know me as the pharaoh of physical media. That's right, Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm here with Let's Get Physical Media all the way up to episode 61, but it isn't a show unless I have my favorite German, your favorite German, everyone's favorite German, Mr. Dieter Bastian, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. Dieter, how are things?
What can I say, Rob? Times are changing, but nevertheless, I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. And Rob, even if Dave has taken the wind a little bit out of my sail at the show you did this day, I will ask you the same thing. Are you still a rock believer, Rob?
I am still a rock believer. You know what? Why don't you explain, because we have different audiences, why don't you explain what this means? Explain the monumentalness that happened this past week.
Of course, Rob, on Friday, since I opened the show with this quote, of course I had to get it, the new album from the Scorpions, which is called Rock Believer. And considering, some people have seen it probably on my Instagram, it's a nice throwback to the old Blackout cover, one of the essential Scorpions albums. And it's a really nice, good rocking album. This is the deluxe edition. It's a little diggy.
Ooh, look at that.
Comes with 2 CDs.
With the awesome rollerball font from the original 75 rollerball. Not that I would know that.
So you have two CDs, and the second one comes with 5 extra tracks. So new Scorpions album is out, and the Scorpion is on the tongue.
Wow.
In the picture. So Rob, I hope you're still a rock believer, because Rob, I still remember, I think it was 89, when the Moscow Peace Musical Festival was taking place with
the what?
The Moscow Peace Music Festival.
There was a Moscow Peace Music Festival
in '89 with Scorpions, Ozzy, Motley Crue, all the American bands were there for the first time, and Scorpion was a little bit ahead, and there were Russian people listening to English music from British acts like Ozzy, and American acts. It was just a great time. There was wind of change, really feeling, Rob, in the air. But this week we've gotten probably 5 steps back to this.
Well, maybe the Scorpions will lead the charge and we'll have another Moscow Peace Music Festival.
At some point, I can only hope so. New album out from Scorpions, Rock Believer.
It's funny. I got to say, I go all the way back to like elementary school with the Scorpions. I remember giving Kirk Noe.
That is even before Blackout, Rob.
Yeah, I gave Kirk Noe Love Drive, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
As far as Scorpions records go, yeah.
Holiday, Rob. Holiday. Who doesn't like a holiday?
First of all, you know what I like? I like news. I like news, Dieter. Should we start with some news?
Yeah.
Okay. There's been so much cool news this week, and I want to begin my news with a film that will go down in the annals of history, a film that I feel really great about purchasing again. It's a new restoration coming to us all the way from Arrow, and Zavvi has a great steelbook. I am, of course, referring to Wild Things. Wild Things.
Exactly.
Look at this. Come on, look at that. Everyone remembers Wild Things, Nev Campbell, Dr. Christmas Jones herself, the ex-Mrs. Charlie Sheen. Who doesn't love Wild Things? That is, of course, this version of Wild Things has 2 versions on it. And for those of you who are salivating over the prospect of getting your respectable softcore in a steelbook or in this beautiful Arrow special edition, it has both versions of Wild Things. Dieter, you can get the theatrical version and of course the extra smutty uncut version. Dieter, how excited are you?
Totally. Now that I intersect, but Wild Things was out on Blu-ray just back in the day.
Oh yeah, dude, I have it.
Yeah.
I have Wild Things on.
Probably long time ago.
I copped to the fact of seeing delicious girl-on-girl action in a swimming pool or whatever. I don't even remember it, but who doesn't want Wild Things? Because they make my heart sing. They make my heart sing, Dieter. You know what else finally was released? And I gotta say, I'm kind of getting annoyed. I love Arrow, but I don't like the fact that they're releasing new 4K versions of their movies.
Double dip the chip, Rob.
Dude, this is supreme double dip. They've already put out awesome special features and special editions of RoboCop, and they're almost identical. Tremors, they did it with Tremors, beautiful box set. Now they're doing it again, and this is the thing. These are movies that I really like, and I got to go for the upgrade. I got to do the double dip. I feel guilty, but I'm doing it. Candyman in a new 4K version. Helen, be my victim. I don't like this at all. I mean, I don't like the fact that they're double dipping.
Yeah. Considering Candyman, Rob, I will get the Turbine edition. Turbine is putting it out too as a media book, so I will get the German one.
Oh, is it in 4K?
It is in 4K, Rob.
Oh, maybe that would be better, just to have something different. Now, they're also my man Gaspar Noé, who made the wonderful Irreversible. Arrow is re-releasing Enter the Void as a special edition. I have to say, when I first saw Clockwork Orange when I was 13, it was the first movie that I ever watched twice back to back. I did the same thing with Enter the Void. I watched this movie. It's like 3 hours long, but I was so blown away by this movie. I watched it twice back to back, and it has the best depiction of doing drugs, I think, of any movie I've ever seen. But I'll leave that up to you. And that's
version on the disc 260.
2 different versions. There's 2 different versions, yes. And we get the long version of Enter the Void. Also, a Gaspar Noé movie I have not seen is also coming out from Arrow, Lux Eterna, another film they shot. I am looking forward to this. Charlotte Gainsbourg and Beatrice Dalle, she of Betty Blue fame. I love Betty Blue. It's a fantastic movie. So I'm very excited about that. But I think my most exciting, low-budget, culty, whatever you want to call it, coming out from my beloved Second Sight, Dieter. Second Sight, because they crush it with their horror special editions. Robert Eggers, The Witch. Bruh, look at that. I love this movie. This movie is a masterclass in how to establish a sense of dread. Look at this special edition. Second Sight, crushing it again, coming out guns blazing. You just gotta love that. It's amazing.
For me, it was pretty hard to understand the English of the movie. Pretty hard.
Well, that's what subtitles are for, Dietz. Come on now.
Yeah, I
know.
Don't
they dub these things in German where you live?
But I wouldn't want to watch.
That's what I love about you. That was the answer I want. That's the right answer. You don't want to watch it
Even if I can't understand everything, I rather watch it with some sentences flowing by me instead of having considering the English language in that movie is part of it.
Dude, I'm telling you. But now look at this. This, by the way, is a Dolby Vision HDR presentation of the film. There's the archive audio commentary with Robert Eggers. There's a new audio commentary by film writer and broadcaster Anna Toskaya. I don't know. A Puritan Nightmare, interview with Robert Eggers, Embracing the Darkness. Suffice to say, it's packed. And it comes with a rigid slipcase with new art, a 150-page hardback book with essays and stuff, and 6 collector's art cards. I don't know. This is the kind of thing that makes blood flow to my nether regions. I can't wait to get this, Dieter. What about you? You gonna get this?
I hope it has just simple subtitles, not only for the deaf of hearing, but probably not. That would be great. Considering I would love to watch it with subtitles.
I know. Well, and I got to say, Warner Archive with a couple of surprising releases. Kevin Reynolds' wonderful film Fandango, starring Kevin Costner and Judd Nelson. This is a film that not many people have seen. It's a terrific movie. I would say, this is a must-buy for me. Thank you, Warner Archive, for putting it out. Back in the younger days of Kevin Costner. And to fill out the Kevin Costner... This was very much before the Waterworld split. Yes. So, and we've also got, to me, when I think about bike racing movies, there's only 2. There's Breaking Away, and then there's Kevin Costner in American Flyers, which is another movie that is coming out from Warner Archive, which I quite enjoy. I'm very, very excited about it. So that's pretty cool. We've also got, of course, and I think this is, it's not quite as good as the original, but Beverly Hills Cop 2 coming out. Tony Scott's Beverly Hills Cop 2 is coming out. I really like this movie. It's not great, but it's peak Tony Scott back in his Top Gun era, Tony Scott. I like this movie. And also I have this actual 6-scale version of Axel Foley with the Detroit Lions jacket on order. 6-scale figure of that, so I'm excited to get that.
I'm actually quite surprised, Rob, that they put the second one out as a 4K disc.
Come on, dude. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, but it's kind of surprising,
It is surprising. It is surprising. And then we got 2 big new releases that have been announced. The first is, of course, I Want to Live in America. West Side Story is coming out in 4K, and this is the ultimate collector's edition, and it truly is. This is actually packed with special features, and Best Buy is putting out a great steelbook. I think I might have to get the steelbook of this, but there is a lot of special features. This disc is packed to the rafters, and I can't wait to get this. I mean, I quite enjoyed the film. I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as the original 61 version, but I wanted to see Steven Spielberg direct a musical my whole life, and I finally got it, and I liked it. I still want to live in America, which is, I don't know if that's surprising to anybody, but I don't know. Let me ask you, Trash Panda. I know your fondness for musicals. You're talking about how much you love musicals all the time.
Yeah.
So,
like I told you, the Mamma Mia musicals were horror, disguised horror films.
Come on now.
I've seen this early in the morning. I've seen a special edition here too for West Side Story, which comes with a book, but it's not. I think the edition is not a media book in general. The book is separately, but I have to watch it. Rob, I will check it out on Disney Plus, and then will make my judgment if I need to buy it.
Because Dieter, nothing screams romance, tragic romance the way you do. Yeah. The way you do. Totally. I mean, you got your J-Lo, picture.
Rob, with all my fun of rape and revenge movies,
of which I have one to show today.
Me too, Rob, and we probably both have the same.
Yes, because a lot of people are going to be, what are they talking about? Rape and revenge films. We're going to cancel those two. It is a genre. Look it up. Wait till we get Thriller.
And what people seem to forget, Rob, we come for the revenge part, not
That's right.
the rape part.
That's
and
right.
Rob, one of our favorites is the French movie Revenge. How much rape do you see in that movie?
Not much.
Exactly, Rob. Exactly.
That's right. And there's a lot of revenge in it.
Yes. Yes.
There's a lot of revenge. And on that fine note, the final release of the year, not unexpected, but an incredible release, Spider-Man, No Way Home. Already a very hard steelbook to get, but here's Spider-Man No Way Home, the 4K. And by the way, unlike many Marvel releases, this disc is chock-a-block full of special features, which is very, very cool. I'm really excited about this. Obviously, it's in Dolby Vision and HDR. There's a gag reel. There's alternate reality Easter eggs, whatever that is. 7 behind-the-scene featurettes, 2 special panels, recorded panels. They've got a villains panel and Meeting of the Spiders panel, which is cool. 3 stories from the Daily Bugle, whatever that is. 2 stunt scene pre-visualizations. Now, it doesn't say... it does say bloopers and gag reel. It says alternate reality Easter eggs, but it doesn't say anything about deleted scenes. So maybe they'll have that. I know they've shown them. I don't know what the deal is. But this is coming out on April 12th. Obviously, I have bought every Marvel movie. So there you go. Spider-Man Far From Home.
A movie
No Way Home.
that we have.
Sorry.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that we have a movie that actually takes this long to get out on home video.
Yeah, well, the movie's still in theaters. It's still burning up the charts.
It's a great thing. Back in the day, it was always half a year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We would have to wait.
It's true. Now, of course, the sales figures will rip through these. Top Blu-ray sellers for the week. Eternals at the top of that list. So all you haters can suck it. I loved Eternals. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it a lot. So clearly other people did too, because it's the #1 Blu-ray for the week. Then we got Ghostbusters Afterlife, Encanto, Dune, Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. All of you who are buying this, you're ashamed of yourselves. Please, you should be. No Time to Die, Clifford the Big Red Dog, Halloween Kills, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and the Ultimate Collection is of Ghostbusters, which is gone. Ghostbusters on the charts twice, and I did not buy this Ultimate Collection. I've got Ghostbusters, and one of the things I got was Afterlife this week, but I'm never Ghostbusters 2. I'm not a fan of, so didn't get that. The highest home media sellers, the top 5: Eternals #1, Encanto, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Resident Evil, and Dune. None of those are at all surprising since they're brand new movies. Good for them. The top 3D, I love that they chart this, 3D sellers for the week, because you and I still love our home 3D. We got Dune 3D still at the top of the charts. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Wizard of Oz 3D, which is great. Top Gun 3D, which is great. And even though those are both post-conversions, they're great. And Pokemon Detective Pikachu? I don't know. If that's what you people are rocking in the house, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. You want Detective Pikachu? You're welcome to it. It's not a bad movie, Dietz. Would you ever buy Detective Pikachu?
Rob, here's my theatrical experience of Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Oh, okay. It's over. Okay.
Wow. Dissing on filmmakers now. That's what this show's not about.
That was my theatrical experience of Detective Pikachu. I won't buy the movie on Blu-ray. Not even on 3D. It's not... I'm not a Pokemon type, Rob.
All right. That's not what she said. Oh, now we're back to the top 5 4K UHD bestsellers for the week. Dune, Eternals. Dune's still top in the charts. Dune smoked Eternals. Didn't quite get to the top of the 4K listings. I don't know why. It looks great in 4K. Lord of the Rings, the motion picture trilogy, is still up there. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, still up there. And Halloween Kills in 4K. There you go, Dieter. That is your physical media for the week. That's all the news that's fit to print or that I deemed worthy. There's more news, and people can come out and say, like, there's, people are dropping titles. I noticed that Tom Jr. Jackson says Kino Lorber is releasing Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy on 4K and Blu-ray, but nothing about To Live and Die in L.A. I know. They're teasing us, it's kind of like this girl you've been making out with, and you barely go above her bra, and it's been weeks, and still nothing else. You don't know. When are you going to give us To Live and Die in L.A., man? Come on now.
Yeah. That's what I like about Turbine Rob. I get an email, this is coming out, and then it's coming out the next week. I like their business,
Kino's doing it right.
Model.
But I feel like I got blue balls when it comes to Live and Die in L.A. in 4K. What I get teased, I get teased again and teased again and teased again. I get nothing.
Better to wait, and the disc is correctamundo, and we don't have to exchange.
I agree. You know what? I'll tell you. That's what all the girls in high school used to tell me, but they were wrong. They were wrong because Kino's quality control is going to be great, and by the time we get To Live and Die in L.A., I'm sure it's going to look spectacular. But when I waited in high school, it was usually disappointing. I'm just saying.
So this will be your 7th copy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Around that ball.
You know what? But I'm not going to be happy until I get that French book. That Amazon France.
Perhaps it will come back in store. Who knows?
No. They, you know what? And it was shipped. I have my Amazon shipping notice. They lied to me and said it was shipped. They lied. But you know what? Amazon France redeemed themselves this week, and I'll show you why. But
okay.
I don't know. So where are we at? You want to tell people what happened in the live chat last week? What is it? I throw the floor to you, Dietz.
Okay. The first one is not a live chat. My friend Tim Hens was in the theaters, Rob, and he sent me a little WhatsApp. He was watching Moonfall. Been to watch Moonfall today out of curiosity if it really was that bad. And you know what? Despite the movie being totally ridiculous nonsense, surprising, it was rather enjoyable, ridiculous nonsense.
Yes, it was.
Not as bad as some of the recognized trash you purchased on physical media. This was actually good, enjoyable garbage. At least the movie was a lot more fun to follow than a really bad stinker like Independence Day
Resurgence.
He did change the title a little bit, Tim.
Oh.
Tim, here is the kicker for you. Moonfall doesn't have the right to be good trash if you have that kind of a budget, you know? That is the difference between little bit independent trash and Moonfall. It doesn't own the right.
I would like to chime in here and say that was a brilliant point that you just made. That Moonfall is too expensive to be considered good trash.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
but
unless,
if you enjoyed it, Tim, good on you.
I would say that expensive good trash has to somehow, if you're gonna make, I think Michael Bay is the king of good trash, or dare I say it,
I second it,
Rennie Harlan. If we're gonna talk about if
you can blow up a pirate ship that way, Rob, why not do it? Why not do it?
You know what? If the studios will give you that much money, I mean, maybe we should watch Cutthroat Island and Armageddon on an endless loop for all time.
I have no problem.
Why doesn't somebody go into the negative and give us the Cutthroat Island that they shot? Even Frank Langella himself, who, by the way, is great in Cutthroat Island, said there was a much better movie lurking in the footage. I mean, I think, maybe we should take up a collection and find out who's got the negative for Cutthroat Island. Bring Rennie back. We could hang with Rennie.
Get Rennie on here.
And we recut Cutthroat Island and put it into the ultimate director's cut that Second Sight can release in a beautiful box set. Turbine will put it out in 4K and a media book. Maybe that'll be our crusade.
You made my day, Rob. You made my day.
There you go. See, I'm not beyond giving our boy Rennie. Where's Prison, by the way? Where's my Blu-ray of Rennie Harlan's Prison? Come on, man. I have no idea. That's actually a really good movie.
I don't even know who owns the rights to that movie.
I don't either, but I had it on an Image Laserdisc. Come on now. There's got to be people in Hollywood that are watching. Basically, you know what? Let George Feltenstein, I don't care who owns the rights to Cutthroat Island, let George Feltenstein have the rights and put it out on Warner Archive.
In Germany, it is Studio Canal, I believe.
Oh. If it's Studio Canal, dude, there's a possibility. We should start a letter writing campaign and deluge those
Get
French.
on it.
Come on.
Come on,
French people. Do something good in the world. Don't just give us Food and Wine. I want Cutthroat Island as a new director's cut special edition.
4K.
Actually, yeah,
4K.
Of course 4K. Anyway, where are you at now? I didn't mean to interrupt. Back to you, Dieter.
Of course. Okay. Now we get actually to the live chat. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media, the Cinemic. By the way, thanks to this show, I have seen New York Ninja. Laugh out loud. Good on you.
The Cinemic, congratulations.
Congratulations. Peter Cunnington. Haven't bought a physical media in a while, but going to buy Spider-Man No Way Home. Great to know. That's probably why every steelbook is sold out. Okay. Tovitz said, physical media rocks, and there's never a wrong time to rock. Where did he has that quote? Terje of Vent in Norway, Terje Tiberius Morg. What did I get in the mail this week? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, but well, bills. Okay? Sometimes you've got to pay. And considering that heat that we showed, he has a great suggestion to Justin Toner. Make sure to get some Peking duck for that viewing when Justin gets his that heat. Then it was nice. It's always nice to see people in the chat giving greetings in German. And there was Space Griffin who said Servus, Grüezi, and Hallo, which is a little bit of a Swiss greeting that I liked. Tim Hens, still not watched Free Enterprise, but would obviously like to. Well, Tim would probably have to buy the DVD.
You know what? I'm going to have a viewing party of Free Enterprise for the Post-Geek Singularity.
There you go, Tim. And the Alex Sorber answered, Free Enterprise is needing that transfer. My DVD is getting ready.
I know. I'm trying, Ringo.
Vegas Robocop was in the chat. Here's a question. Who bought Free Enterprise upon release? This fella did. I didn't, because I didn't even know the movie existed until I met my manager here. That this movie existed.
That's me. I'm his manager. And by the way, I'm willing to book him out for colleges, high schools, and all girls schools for a speaking fee that is minimal depending on which school you're sending him to. Contact me, DM me, slide into my DMs, and I'm happy to broker Dieter speaking to your group or your institution of higher learning.
One of your moderators, Brian Hepburn. I have no idea about Psycho Gorman. Why don't you, Brian? Buy the movie. Buy Psycho Gorman. Okay?
Isn't it on Shudder now? I think you can watch it on Shudder.
I don't have Shudder. It's a good fit for Shudder. Definitely.
You're not using your VPN to get Shudder?
Rob, I have so many streaming services I can't afford anymore. I just can't, Rob. Just can't.
Checking.
And luckily, Rob, Shudder is one of the companies that puts out stuff on Blu-ray, you know?
I know.
So I'm lucky in that sense.
It's true.
Considering Shudder.
All hail Shudder.
But like you said, Shudder would be another great streaming service too, but it's just insane with the streaming services. A geek of one. Yeah, life is better if you avoid trailers. Exactly my words when it comes to tentpole movies that we all like to watch. And Rob, of course, I'm hyped. We're getting a little bit early, but I will see Batman on Wednesday evening. Looking forward.
I really am very excited for the Batman.
Yeah.
All kidding aside,
of course, I will check a little bit tomorrow. If I think tomorrow will be the review embargo lifted.
Yeah, the embargo lifts. The embargo lifts.
And then we will see where it stands. And Willow Yang, considering streaming, Willow Yang was in the chat. Yeah, I just realized that I had set my Disney Plus to just PG-13. Since changing it to mature, I now have a lot more options available. So you don't forget, people, you can change the settings.
And you know,
and she asked,
Willow Yang she lives her life with an R rating.
Yeah, because she asked, is Pam and Tommy any good? From my perspective, it is actually really good, Willow. I think we have 2 episodes left to go, and I have no idea how they will end this show. So I'm really curious about that. But I totally love the show. How they changed Lily James and Sebastian Stan for me is insane.
Yeah,
considering Uncharted, they didn't even try. Okay, Mark Wahlberg is Mark Wahlberg. Finito. Okay. The Alex Sorber was in the live chat. Paramount Plus is useless. Come on, Alex Sorber. Perhaps the Halo show will be good. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be.
Could be.
And how about that Star Trek Picard debuting this week? Woohoo!
Oh, woohoo. I think it's still on Amazon here. I think they should, but I don't know. A Geek of One. The censorship of Splash on Disney Plus was unforgivable. We should never accept such shenanigans. It is our duty to preserve the booty. Exactly. So
I agree. I've been worshiping booty since I was a young man. And why would Disney Plus go cover up one of the great booty shots in all of cinema history? Daryl Hannah as a mermaid going back into the ocean. The worst CG. It looks like they put Cousin It from the Addams Family, or Munsters or whatever, draped over her beautiful, gorgeous ass. What kind of country are we? Are you protecting the children from the ass? They've all got one, but let's cover up Daryl Hannah's. This is why America is in decline.
Such a shame. Tim Hens came back and answered Louis X. Sparrow. My own German is very limited, unfortunately. And nevertheless, Tim, you get by. You get by without knowing German, you know? Mark asks us, what do we think the Godfather 4K Collector's Edition disc housing will be inside that black box? But there are pictures of it, Rob. It is like a coffee table, I think. There are art cards, I believe, in it.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Dietz, let me... the art cards, by the way, are incredibly dope. I mean, really, really cool. And as a matter of fact, here, let me pull this. Like, I want to get these art cards framed up in. Here, I'll pull it up so I can show you. I think people have seen it, but I mean, maybe he means what does the actual disc trays look like?
Okay.
I mean, and which they don't show.
Misunderstand this. Okay.
But I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be this is what comes inside the box. But I think the question is, and I have this question as well. Yeah, and we don't. So this is, and then there's also here. Let me. This is an actual. It's the same shit. Here's the picture on the back of the box. Is the same thing. So, and I think that's actually a legitimate concern. So that's what I guess that's the back.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean it's you know how sometimes they have those sliders, the cardboard sliders, and a good question, a legitimate question, do not have an answer.
Of the other, perhaps since it's how much disc 9? I think it's
something like that. But it's interesting because this picture only shows 3 discs. 5. Well, there's 5 total. Is there 9 in this set? That's a good. Now this is, I guess, just the 4K version. So, but you know what? I really love. I really love this 50th anniversary artwork. I mean, I don't normally go for photographs, but I really this. I think that was the 4K set. So the I don't know. I mean, you know what? I think. And I hate to say this, just because I want this packaging or I want this poster, I love this. I think this looks great. I want this. I have my damn toys Godfather figure right here. I haven't opened it yet, but I might have to buy them both, or not.
Voilà. So the question was about the housing of the disc in general. Let us be surprised. Mark. Hopefully, it's a good housing for the discs. Back to the live chat. Terje from Norway. Everyone needs a German in their life. I don't know about that, Terje, but I'm happy to be yours. Okay. Homo erectus. I love Joan Jett and the Black Hearts in the Book of Boba Fett. Who didn't? You all did. Jared Speed asks me, wonder if Dieter has Lex sci-fi series in his collection. Unfortunately, not, Jared Speed. It is not in my collection. Tom Jr. Jackson, what is with Dieter finding all these films with rape and sex abuse? And Doc Vader answered, he is a magnet of such. And since I'm a magnet, I will show it before Rob shows it, because one came this week.
Oh, see, now course, I didn't get that version because I'm waiting for the Vinegar Syndrome
version. This is not the same. I thought you would show Thriller. You don't show? Okay.
That is.
I got.
Now that is the Synapse version, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Vinegar Syndrome, dude. I'm waiting for Vinegar Syndrome. I think they got different transfers or something. But now we should.
The transfer is pretty rough. It comes with a reversible.
Yeah. See, I have that version. I hear the Vinegar Syndrome is a brand new restoration, so I'm waiting. Now, for those people who don't know what this movie is, or if you have never heard of this film, this film is probably.
This was my first time watch this week.
Oh, and did you watch the uncut version?
This is the uncensored version, Rob.
With all the hardcore pornography?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let me ask you: this is your first time seeing this movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I have never seen it. Rob, I had some laughs about it, considering her training. Hey, I don't know if I get into a high-speed pursuit. Let's learn some driving skills. No. So for me, it was a little bit, considering the action was always in super slow motion, So it's, but considering the time it was made, it's pretty rough. Considering
it doesn't get rougher, dude.
No,
come on.
So I would think the American censored version has just the pornographic stuff cut out. Nothing else.
So the American version of this movie is called "They Call Her One Eye."
Yeah,
and
all Quentin is probably a fan, as I hear.
Yeah, well, Quentin Tarantino based the character that Daryl Hannah plays in Kill Bill 1 and 2 is inspired by this film. Yeah. This is not a nice movie.
No,
it's not
so to
nice.
My surprise, Rob, it's a Swedish movie. That was my
hence the sex in this movie. Yeah. I had only seen the American version. I'd only seen when I watched when Synapse released the version on DVD. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, what?
It's not the best movie considering plausibility, Just
but you need to take a shower after you watch it. But I think
but like you said, Rob, this transfer is pretty rough. You have dropouts, so
yeah.
But I don't know if I would buy it again. But considering Vinegar Syndrome and their packaging, let's see what they.
Would you recommend that movie to our constituency here, the people watching this channel?
If you're a fan of the genre, yes, but only if you're a fan of the genre, And Rob, she's not a Mary Sue. She's not a Mary Sue.
Oh no! But what did you think of the revenge portion of the movie?
Yeah, it was a little bit lackluster, considering the action was always in slow mo. It misses a little bit of the punch when you do everything in super slow motion. And the disc has some extra features where you see that the fight with the cops at the harbor was not planned there. They had a different setting, but they had to reshoot it. They didn't made a mistake considering the chemical transfer of the film, and they had to reshoot that sequence. So it's always a tough one. So at the end, the only thing would have been nice to have more, a little bit more of special features on.
Yeah, I think the Vinegar Syndrome. Rad. I think the Vinegar is going to be rad. I think it's going to be much better. Undead 6 says, "Come on, Robin Dieter, come on. I already pre-ordered the Wild Things and the Witch. Well, Undead 6, that's why you watch this show, and we salute you for that. Yeah. Did you go for the?
So I don't know why you're complaining, Undead 6.
Did you go for the Zavvi Steelbook? Because the Steelbook's rad. Yeah. You got to go for the Zavvi Steelbook, man.
Steelbook looks great."
So Willow says, Willow asks, and she'll watch them too. Willow says, "What are some of your favorite rape revenge films? For more modern movies, I really liked The Nightingale, and I quite enjoyed Promising Young Woman, although I'm not sure how I feel about the ending."
The ending was quite a shock and quite surprising to me.
Promising Young Woman, yeah, it was,
was awesome.
I mean, look, I think Thriller and I Spit on Your Grave are two of the most well-known.
Yeah.
Right, but I think in terms of what I like the best, it might be Revenge.
Yeah, me too, Rob. Me too.
It's really good. I mean, it's a legitimately good movie. I think the whole look. I have a hard time with any kind of violence against women that's portrayed in a realistic fashion that doesn't have a fantasy bent to it. But I think also I'd have to say Gaspar Noé's Irreversible is in there as well, even though I can't watch the rape scene in that film. I can't sit through it. It's the only movie that has something in it I can't watch. I've seen everything. I've seen it all.
So this,
I can't.
A tough one.
It's a tough one, but yeah. So
okay.
Now we're not canceled.
Like Rob said, Revenge, Promising Young Woman. If it comes to a little bit more modern takes on the genre. Doc Vader, answered Justin Toner. Somehow this rings a bell to me. I volunteer as tribute to Move the Collection. You know, he wants to help you move.
Well, if you want to.
Yeah. Steve Moore, Dieter, can you tell me where you get your German discs from? It's not just Amazon, is it? No, it is not, considering some Turbine stuff I get from Turbine Shop itself, or the Dune set was only available at the Koch Films website.
Is it sold out? Is the Dune set sold out?
It's not sold. No, it's not sold out. You can still get it if you want it. Sometimes you have to go to the labels itself, to the studios themselves, and Turbine is sometimes selling their stuff first on their own shop before 2 or 3 weeks later it will be put to Amazon. And considering some more video nasties, I sometimes go to Austrian websites or shops and order my stuff there. And considering worldwide, it's mostly Amazon America, Amazon UK. Sometimes, like Rob now said, with Wild Things, we have to go to Savvy. You know, it's all over the place. Yes, Asia for, of course, the
I mean, I placed an order at via the Australian company, you know, via Vision, I think it is, Imprint. Yeah, you know, I did a big order there. Yeah, so
exactly. So the other websites, the German, Austrian websites. One is Beyond Media, is it called? The other is a Media Dealer. So I have some different websites where I shop for some more of the video nasties, you know. Tim Hans asked, can anyone give an example of something Amazon have released on physical media? And the live chat answered him, but I will give you 2 other examples, Tim, and it is Manchester by the Sea and The Big Sick are 2 Amazon studio movies that got released on physical media. So thank you, Amazon. Considering the old, question mark, the old Dune, Willow said, I heard the original one isn't all that good. Well, Willow, you heard right. Blue Rock answered, the original Dune is good if you watch the extended TV cut, he says.
Well, what's really interesting on the Dune, the Koch version of Dune, they have the Spice Diver edit, the fan edit of Dune, which is by far the best version of the movie, I think.
So it's even different than his mention of the extended cut?
Yeah.
TV cut?
Yeah. Okay. It's different, it's longer, and it's better.
Oh, okay. Steel Pilot said, 84's Dune is a fun watch, but hastily cut for the running time, considering theatrical version. They rush through plot developments that should take longer to flesh out. It's worth a watch, though. So I hope Willow will still get around to it. Tim Hans asked, what is with this current trend of fate of rebooting a movie by ignoring previous installments like the recent Halloween? I have no idea, Tim. Just sign of the times, you know. Then I have some nice greetings from Heidelberg here in Germany, from Kiki. He said, great show. Greetings from Heidelberg, which was nice. And the last one from Blue Rock Rob, they should cancel Discovery and use its budget to remaster Deep Space Nine.
And Voyager, but Deep Space Nine first. I agree.
And, probably the money would be enough to remaster both.
You know what? To remaster both, you know what? You're right about that. It'd probably take about $40 million to remaster both shows.
So
properly.
That was the live chat from last week.
Well, if you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Okay, should we start with social media? Who starts, Rob?
You start.
Okay, I start. I start with this one. We have the Batman coming out. This is a little bit, not really a prequel, but I got a steelbook of the Catwoman animated movie, Catwoman 100. This is
nice.
The steelbook of it. And you totally can see, Rob, I was surprised I didn't do a check on the movie. It's probably made from a Japanese studio, because you have the Warner logo and then Japanese under it, and DC and Japanese under it, and you can totally see the influence of anime in the movie. So it's really with a Japanese influence. Catwoman 100. The story is not particularly well crafted. It's just there to get from one action set piece to the next. Catwoman 100.
By the way, Piku sent in a 6666 super chat, which I very much appreciate. Thank you, Piku. And Georgie says, hello, Mr. Lombardo. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm missing that. And Tom Jr. Jackson does say Kino Lorber is releasing Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy on 4K and Blu-ray, but nothing about To Live and Die in L.A. They're waiting for Friedkin to grade and approve the Dolby Vision HDR master. Well, that's cool.
Okay.
And Whippa Snappa says, I have the Apocalypse Now collector's edition. It's awesome. It is awesome. And I'll tell you, I love it.
As we all should have it, okay? The next one, I unfortunately didn't get around to it. It's called Settlers in the United States, but here it's called Life in Space. It is with Sofia Boutella, but I haven't gotten around to watch it yet. It's called Settlers in America.
Yeah, I was going to say, absolutely.
Yeah. So I can't tell you anything about it. Cat in the back. Rob, I got betrayed. This afternoon.
Who betrayed you?
I have read on Blu-ray.com in the forum about it, and I can really attest to it. Rob, this is one of my favorite comedies, and they tricked me, Rob, because Eurotrip is out and it says unrated, but it isn't the unrated. It is the R-rated. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
man.
Wrong. They did it wrong. And strangely enough, Rob, this is a Paramount release, but the disc is totally a Warner disc, so the old one probably. But nevertheless, and I think there is a new date for really the unrated, but it's not that different. But, Rob, this movie is still censored in Germany.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Why would they censor Eurotrip? I mean, it is Germany is in Euro. So,
there is 1 minute. There is over 1 minute is missing, Rob. In Germany.
What would they possibly cut out of that movie?
Rob, if you remember, they get to Berlin, and there's a little bit of a young boy, who makes a little mustache,
okay,
and is doing a little, show of hands, and this is still one of my favorite comedies, Eurotrip. But people, it is not the unrated. It is not. It says here, but it's wrong. But they will put out a new one sometimes later. But it has the scene that is cut in Germany, Rob.
Wow, I love the fact that you can wax rhapsodic about Eurotrip. That's why I watch this show.
Eurotrip is great.
That's why I watch Let's Get Physical.
Male motherfucker. Steelbook time. Haven't watched the movie in a long time. Green Mile is here as a 4K.
I too. You know what? I was gonna get. Is that the Zavvi Steelbook?
No, this is just a normal. It's nothing special about it. Considering the release, this came from Amazon Italy.
Nice. I mean, I have to say, since I too,
you got it too, Rob.
I got it too. I just got the regular release. I love the Green Mile. Okay. Frank Darabont knocked this one out of the park too. One of the great Stephen King adaptations. So yes, I too got the Green Mile in 4K. That's a really nice steelbook, though. I just, I didn't. The Zavvi one was sold out, and I figured, okay.
It doesn't need to be always the steelbook.
It's true.
2 media books. I got 3 media books left. I watched this afternoon. I think still holds up. Still like it. And Nameless, the studio Nameless, says it is the first time that it's really uncut. There is always a little bit of snippets considering the violence and of the cover. The Other 4 was Wesley Snipes.
Wow, that's a really nice cover. You don't see. I don't even think is that even out in the U.S.
I think so, Rob. It is out on. It should be out, but it says here it is the first time that it's really an uncut version of the movie. So it's a media book. Inside, and Rob, I totally got a laugh this afternoon when I watched the movie, and the movie plays at the Millennial 2000, and he has to wait 2 minutes to download probably a 10 megabit audio file, until it's downloaded. Times are changing.
That's hilarious.
With Wesley Snipes, and the other one I haven't seen, media book of a Korean movie. Perhaps I've bought the Korean version. I don't know. The Bad Guys, Reign of Chaos.
Wow, that's sweet. Look at that.
It says here it is a TV show, but this is the movie of the TV show, so probably a hit in Korea, I hope. The Bad Guys, Reign of Chaos. And I've got 1 media book left, and the first time I heard about this movie was, you mentioned it, Rob, because I didn't, wasn't on my radar, and unfortunately, Rob, I can't tell you anything about it. I haven't seen it, but I'm lucky to have it, Rob. Paul Verhoeven is here, Rob, with Benedetta, finally.
Dude, I need to get one of those, because I don't know if we're going to get it. Come on now.
As a media book, 4K, and normal Blu-ray, but I didn't get around to it, Rob. Let me just see. And there is an interview with Paul is on it, and I'm making of a little bit about 45 minutes.
I need to get one of those because I'm the big Paul Verhoeven fan.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I haven't got it. You can get it in 2 cover artworks. I decided for this one.
I would too.
Benedetta. So this is my last one. My whole of this week.
Well, I got some stuff. Should I show you what I got? You want me to show you mine now?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I'm going to show is all the way from France. There is a series. It's not like Austin Powers, but there is a series of secret agent movies that it's a spoof. And Jean Dujardin, John, who was in The Artist.
Oh, Dujardin?
Yeah, Dujardin. The OSS movies. The last time an OSS movie came out was in, I think, 2009. So OSS 117 Lost in Rio came out in 2006. And OSS 117 Cairo Nest of Spies came out in 2009. Yeah. Well, look what they in 2021. Nice. OSS 117 is back from Africa.
I probably have to get that too, Rob.
I love these. I mean, if you haven't seen, Lost in Rio, which even the way they made the film stock or the digital image, whatever, looked like it was shot in the 60s. These movies are hilarious.
It's not like a S and Power spoof, not at all.
No. It's a different kind of. It's more like a Pink Panther spoof. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I mean, they play it like you're watching a movie.
It's not exactly the silly kind.
No, it's kind of silly, but they play it. Yeah. Everybody else is in a straight movie, but he's not.
But he not.
And I love these movies. I didn't even know this.
I didn't even know that there was a new one out.
There was a new one out. I mean, it's been 11 or 12 years since the last one, so it's great to get this.
So it's called just OSS. Help me. It's just
I don't know what the French. Our title is From Africa with Love. It says Alert Rouge in Africa Noir.
Okay, I will check it out.
Alert Rouge in Africa Noir, whatever that means. I don't know. But again, this is the third movie in the series. If you haven't seen these, I love these. They're hilarious. Georgie says, Robin Dieter, you both don't deserve the Wild Things Steelbook if you don't know who Mr. Lombardo is. Was that Kevin Bacon? I don't remember. I haven't seen Wild Things in 20 years.
In a long time, exactly.
It's been a long time. Don't judge us, Georgie.
Yeah.
So there, I got this. And then finally, they had, as you know, I got screwed by Arrow getting my Dario Argento 4K discs. They had this at Amazon. It wasn't sold out, the box set. So I was able to finally get my 4K Cat of Nine Tails. No thanks to you, Arrow, but that doesn't mean I don't love you. I still do. I still love you, but I finally got that. Then I bought this because of you.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to what you think of the movie, Rob.
Yeah, I got this because of you, Mayday. I don't know anything about it. Highly recommended.
Go in blind, Rob. Go in blind.
Okay, you Beware the Siren Signal. Love it. Love that. Then, of course...
4.0 on IMDb, Rob.
And then, of course, you know what? I wasn't going to get this, but then I kept reading all about it, and it's in 4K, and it's chock-a-block full of stuff. I had to get it. Alligator.
Oh, mine is on its way.
Alligator. Had to get it. Great. There's Lake Placid. There's the Crawl.
Wasn't there a review on Bill Hunt's digital bits site?
This disc. You know what? You got to get this disc. I mean, come on. Yeah. The movie's good. There's so much special features on it, and it's in 4K. I never how do we have Alligator in 4K? Well, I don't know, but here it is. Thank you, Scream Factory. I had to get Alligator in 4K. And then, while it's not a great movie, it's not a great movie.
You buy you buy.
It's not a great movie, but I had to get it because it's John Carpenter, and it's in 4K. I have all of John Carpenter's 4K releases. Come on, I had to get Escape from LA.
Is it the correct one?
Yes,
is it the new one?
It's the new one. It's the corrected version. I had to get this. How can I not get it?
Exactly. I will get it too, Rob, but it's gotten a little pushed here, probably because of the exchange of the.
Oh yeah. Then this was something that I don't know why this fell off my radar. One of my favorite filmmakers that no one's ever heard of is Peter Watkins, and he made a movie called The War Game, which is an early about a nuclear war. He made a movie called Gladiators, which is about it's very Hunger Games-esque. And he made a movie called Punishment Park that is very interesting dystopian sci-fi social commentary movies. But this is one of his better movies too, Privilege. And it's about a rock star and what happens when he becomes influential and about his life. I mean, it's really it's a very early movie about the life of an influencer, really. Yeah. Very interesting movie. I was surprised to see that this got released, and this is an amazing, and there's an audio commentary on here, but really interesting. This is a really interesting movie, and I was so shocked to see it on Blu-ray. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I live for. Because when I first discovered Peter Watkins, it was because I had bought the version of Gladiators called Gladiatorina on videotape. I mean, we're talking in the early 80s. And then I went on this Peter Watkins binge, and I became a huge fan of his. So I was pretty shocked to see that this came out on Blu-ray. I'm like, wow, this was really hard to get back in the day, but now we have it on Blu-ray.
But now we have it.
I'm very excited about that. And then I thought the rape revenge film you got was this. Lipstick with Mariel and Margot Hemingway. And Chris Sarandon. This was a staple of cable when we first got cable. Yeah. It's the story of one woman who had to take the law into her own hands. And you've got Marilyn
How
Margot
do
Hemingway.
I not know Lipstick, Rob?
You should know Lipstick. To tell you the truth, I don't think it's a great movie, but it's one of those movies I watched on cable all the time. I don't understand why. Like, I probably saw this movie 20 or 30 times on cable. I haven't seen it in 40 years. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to buy Lipstick. I don't think anyone ever has to see. I don't have to see this movie ever again. But why not? Now I have it.
But perhaps, Rob, it's in the best quality you've ever seen it.
Undoubtedly so. but this movie, now I have it.
It could always be a new fresh watch, Rob, if the quality is,
less than the cost of a double Jameson at the local watering hole. So there you go. Lipstick. Then, of course, I did get Ghostbusters Afterlife, which,
nice.
Why not? The true sequel to the original Ghostbusters, I guess, or both two. And then, Dieter, the last things I got this week, I don't know why, but I'm like, you know what I don't have on 4K? I don't have Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies.
Oh, I have them, Rob. I bought the triple trilogy.
So, I went and looked. Now, for Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man, I was able to find the limited edition collection.
Nice.
Which is it's actually really cool. I mean, it's booklets, it's
nice.
It's really nice set. And then I was like, I wonder if they have one of these for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
They do. Sold out. Couldn't find it.
Damn.
So I just went and got the regular Spider-Man trilogy set in 4K of Sam Raimi's Spider-Mans, and I figured, why not? And I might actually repack these in my original Blu-ray box set versions because it's a cool box set. Might do that. Don't know. But now I have it. So that's what I got this week.
Only No Way Home is missing for us all.
Only No Way Home. But it is coming out. Yeah. So there you go. That's what I bought this week.
Should we jump to the letters that you sent me, or do you want to go through the super chats that are?
Let's do. Yeah, there's a few super chats coming in. Let's see. Well, I already read. Power is power. Sent in a super chat. Thank you, Power is power. No question, just a super chat. Thank you, sir. Thanks for supporting the channel. Terrier says, regarding Arrow, Robert.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes those we love hurt us. That's good advice, Terrier. And the only thing is, well, I guess it's true because I'm paying Arrow money, so when they hurt me, it's my own fault. It's my own fault. What can I do? Instamatic 101 says, cheers, guys, and members of the chat. Can't be here as often. Got 2 jobs to make up for the last few years, but I'm always listening. Stay safe and take care. Well, Instamatic, you know what? You're here in spirit. And that's all that matters. And thank you for supporting the channel. Great to hear from you. And I too, burning the candle at both ends. I know what it's like. Got to keep that money rolling in. Got to keep those discs flying.
And just like the first track here says, Rob, there's got to be more gas in the tank,
Is that the name of the song?
Yeah, gas in the tank.
Gas in the tank.
Song of the movie.
Okay.
Gas in the tank. There got to be more gas in the tank,
Let's put some gas in that tank, brother.
in your Honda Prius.
Yes, in the Prius Prime, which is great because it's only got like an 8-gallon tank, and I only have to fill it up. I mean, so driving to John Campia's, it's a 120-mile round trip every day.
Back and forth, okay.
Back and forth. It doesn't even... I use half a tank of gas, maybe.
Oh.
And so what's 120 miles times 5? So you're looking at, what is that? That's 600 miles. That's pretty good. 600 miles on 4 gallons of gas or whatever. I'll take it.
So the hybrid pays off. Definitely.
Yeah, I couldn't. Daddy couldn't roll with the Tesla, even though a little too rich for my blood. But you know what? I feel like a respectable as I get older, and approach another birthday, and as everyone knows, I'm closer to death than I've ever been before. Everyone's like, Rob, that's so morbid when you speak that way. I don't know. I think that's why my way of defying death. Watch it. I'll drop dead next week and I won't show up on the show.
Considering you're hybrid, it's just like with physical media, There is streaming, but we're lucky if we have it, And you're driving electric, but it's nice to have more gas in the tank if you need it.
It's true. I got to tell you though, this is how crazy I am. So I have this car and I'm thinking it's got a great sound system in it. But you know what it doesn't have? It doesn't have a CD player. And I have lots of CDs. And I'm thinking, I'll bet I could trick out the what's it called? The drawer, the
head-up display.
No, not the head-up, but where you have the little, where your insurance card is and where the owner's manual is, and the passenger side. What's that thing called? The dashboard. Whatever it is.
Glove compartment.
Yeah, glove compartment. That's it. I bet you I could fit a small CD player in there, like one of those Apple CDs, and figure out a way to wire it into the audio system.
I remember, Rob, back in the day, I had a CD changer in the trunk of my car, a Pioneer CD changer, and it could change between 6 CDs. And the great thing about that Pioneer CD changer, you could make random, and it wouldn't do random of one CD, skipping through the CDs. That was.
I mean, people are probably going, "Why would you want a CD player when you can just burn all your discs and rip it all?" And I'm like, I know, but I'm looking at. I have to move them. I have 2,000 CDs.
So that would probably one CD that you didn't have to move.
Dude, I've got CDs that are 38 years old.
Yeah, that's around probably the first one that came out.
Vegas RoboCop says, my 69 Charger uses 4 gallons upon startup. Long live Detroit muscle.
Great. Should we get to the
letters, Rob? Hit us up with the letters, brother.
Okay, I will start with the first one. Let me just see that I move myself a little bit shorter here. I can have room to read it. The first letter that you sent me, Rob, comes from Undead Sick. And he writes, "Hello, Rob and Dieter. Today I wanted to talk to you about physical media in general. I already said to you in a previous letter what a dumb and stupid kid I was back in my youth when I sold all those wonderful VHS tapes. I don't know if that was really a dumb move. But in recent years, I'm actually pretty proud of myself as a movie fan, critic, and collector because my cabinet keeps growing and getting fuller. And what a wonderful time it is for us collectors of physical media. Since we have all these amazing labels like 88 Films, Arrow Video, Severin, Vinegar, etc., we just keep getting one amazing title after the other. The only problem is that I have to become very selective of what things I'm getting because my wallet often becomes very flat. I know that too. But it's so worth it because I have so many great things on pre-order to look forward to. I'm just naming Black Cat, Galaxy of Terror, Cedar, and Violent City from 88 Films, along with Row Cops and Racketeers, as well as nice romantic film, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer from Arrow Video, Caligula from Severin Films.
Can I interrupt you here? Did he say that 88 Films is releasing Galaxy of Terror?
Yes, Rob.
Okay, excuse me. I'm going to the 88 Films website. Continue.
Okay. Caligula from Severin Films, Contraband from Cauldron Films, and Alligator from Scream Factory are coming, which Rob showed us already. But like I said, being selective is a big thing right now. My biggest thing is European Italian cinema because that's where my passion lies, and it's the movie catalog that I have the most knowledge of, which is very easy and handy for my own YouTube channel that I'm working on and where I do in-depth movie reviews. But I'm also starting to dive into, watch, and research Asian cinema, which I'm hearing a lot of great things about, and I want to know more about and expand my knowledge for sure. The first 3 titles I ordered are Erotic Ghost Story, Robotrix, and of course, Black Cat from 88 Films. I also made some suggestions for possible future releases to Arrow, 88 Films, and Indicator Films, which I hope they will consider. Lastly, one of my most anticipated releases of this year is Second Sight's release of The Hitcher. But in all honesty, it comes a bit too late, because a year before he passed away, I got the honor of meeting Rutger Hauer in person at, Dieter, hold on to your seat, because here it comes, the Weekend of Hell in Dortmund, Germany. I got to talk to him for a while, and I got to ask him a burning question. If you do so many American films, why do you always come back to Holland? And he answered me with, because I miss my chickens. That might sound funny, but he owned a house farm in the province where I actually live. So in closing, I would just like to say that I think us collectors live in a golden age of physical media for sure. And I will keep collecting and trying out my wallet for many years still to come. Keep up the great work, and physical media rules, from Undead Sick. What a nice letter from Undead Sick. Really great.
A very nice letter, Undead Sick.
Yeah.
And I think Undead Sick has my favorite name of everyone in the Post-Geek Singularity. I don't know why I love that. Undead Sick.
Sick. Robert, did you
Is that
find
like zombie vomit?
Gal-
Said in a more elegant way? By the way,
did you
that
find Galaxy of
yes,
Terror?
and I pre-ordered. It's out. You know what? It has the original. It's worth buying for me just because of the packaging. I didn't know they had that. I didn't know they put it out. The last thing I bought from them was Robotrix, which is, of course, a must-own. But yeah, very.
The
very
next
excited.
one. How could it be otherwise, Rob? Comes, of course, from Oma94.
No.
Hi, Rob. Yeah. Hi, Rob. And guten Abend, Dieter. When it comes to the making of documentaries for movies, they are often put online, usually a shortened version or sometimes the whole thing. With that, I've noticed how making of videos are not as long as they used to be now. Usually, the making of videos for movies now are around 10 or 15 minutes, while occasionally going up to 30 minutes, like for the MCU. However, with older movies, they are often around 45 minutes or longer, since they tend to go into more detail, like how I've seen making of videos for a number of Alfred Hitchcock movies, and they are usually around 45 minutes to over an hour. I don't collect home media, so maybe the discs have making of videos which are really long for movies now. But I've noticed when I watched making of videos for older movies, they are usually much longer ones for movies now. Since you both collect home media, you probably know more about why that is the case. Thanks. Live long and prosper. Rob brought actually this one a little bit up. I think it was this week on the John Campeo show. Even for behind the scenes stuff, you will have to pay. Someone has to produce the stuff, and it's not getting cheaper. And what you said, mostly the 10 to 15 minutes that are just EPK kits, they are just another marketing tool.
Yeah, that they repurpose.
Yeah, they are not really deep dives into how a movie was made. And with the transition more to streaming, it's probably a little bit, it don't quite is right for the studios. They don't think it's worth the money to put.
Well, just to give people an example, when I had Ludovico Technique, when I started it in 2002, I still have it. My production company is now 20 years old. My formula for making special features was I charged $1,500 US per minute of content. So if you wanted a half an hour featurette, it was $45,000. And what that meant was sometimes I would have to employ people, like depending on how many days you would go out, like I'd have to hire a crew, and let's call the crew per day $1,500 per day. It's more now for a sound person and camera if you needed to. So let's say you had to go shoot 5 days of B-roll. You can see how, that was expensive. Then you had to pay somebody to edit, and there was sound mixing involved. So even though it's behind the scenes, a lot of people have this idea that behind the scenes featurettes are somehow just someone's just there with a camera.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
It's easy pickings.
When we went, I can say this now, when we were doing Superman Returns, we had a $1 million budget. to shoot the behind the scenes for Superman Returns, but we were in Australia for a year, and we had to pay for everything. We had to rent our cars, we had to pay for our lodging, our food, in addition to I had to pay the people that were working for me. And then we had the post-production of digitizing the tapes and all that. So it was a full-time job for people that I was paying. So it was it was a lot. And it was that whole project was a 2-year long process. So no one's going to pay that much anymore. And like Disney paid us even more money to do Chronicles of Narnia. Like if you get the 4-disc Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe set that they put out, I don't know how much of the stuff made it over to Blu-ray, but I mean we were in New Zealand for 14 months. There was 3 of us, and then I sent people to Prague, and you're talking about flying all over the world, you're talking about lodging again, insurance, and you're working for a year or more. So that was great because we were embedded, we were on set every single day shooting, and it's incredible, but the studios just don't do that anymore. And that money came from marketing, and because DVDs sold, they were there was an enormous, everyone loved DVDs. Everybody was buying DVDs. The DVD market was absolutely enormous. It was exploding. They were selling, sometimes Disney titles would sell like 35 million copies. 35 million copies. It cost nothing to manufacture the discs. So Disney,
like I said, some movies did probably make more money considering selling DVDs than they did in
a lot, especially lower budget titles. I mean, a lower budget movie that had some success at the box office could double or triple its revenue, even more, based on its home video sales. And it was hugely lucrative. And at first, people thought part of the reason everybody loved DVDs were the special features. But in reality, only about 20%, I found this out, and I've said this before, but when we had put Superman Returns out, Walmart said, we only want a 2-disc set. We were going to do a 3-disc set. They said they only wanted a 2-disc set, and they also wanted a vanilla only, a movie-only version, no special edition. And then when they put it in their stores, because Walmart at that time sold between 45 and 50% of all the DVDs sold in the world. So we found out that the vanilla only, the movie-only version of Superman Returns outsold the special edition 8-2, which means only 20% of people who bought Superman Returns even bought the special edition. Most people didn't. And so the studios realized, why are we spending all this money on special features when we're not seeing the return? And now everybody who's watching this show, we're like, but we love special features. The reality is, of course, we do. But the reality is the general public doesn't. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's true of pretty much everything. The general public, most people just, want to watch their movies. They don't particularly care who made them or why they were made or the decisions that were made. Most people just want to watch movies and move on. So that's kind of what happened to the special features market.
Exactly.
So go ahead. There's more letters. Sorry.
I've got two more, and they are both from Brian Knight. And he sends first a review. Robert and Dieter, my review of Robotrix on your recommendation. I bought a copy of the movie. On the Dieter scale, I gave the movie a 2 and an 8. Okay? Which is actually really fitting, Brian. And he says, on first viewing, the obvious references to RoboCop and the Terminator are there. Unfortunately, the homage to 80s Skin Max was clearly a failure. Hong Kong can do action and martial arts, but for the love of God, don't ask them to make adult movies. Hire a director from Chatsworth, home to adult movies in California, would have helped to shoot those scenes. Now, 48. On second viewing, while listening to the audio commentary, the movie was saved. The two gentlemen, Mike Leader and Arne Venema, are Hong Kong movie experts and not only knew nearly the entire cast and director, but also could identify every film location, including random alleys used in the movie. This is why I buy DVDs with audio commentary for all the juicy backstories of movies, doing the Lord's work, Robert and Dieter. This is great to know that you find more appreciation, Brian, for the movie through an audio commentary, and especially considering those older movies, it's nice to get some critics or fans of the movie who just can rhapsodically talk about the movie, how it came to be. And it's great that you on second watch said, okay, through the audio commentary, it's got saved for you, Robotrix. And then he did go on. Robert and Dieter, my crazy Blu-ray DVD player story. I was going to try and watch Lust, Caution for the third time. Another Robert and Dieter recommendation. Every time I try, I just have to stop. It's a slogging movie to watch. This time when I put the Blu-ray into my player, it wouldn't recognize the Blu-ray. Ejected the disc, cleaned it, and put it back into the machine. No go. Then tried several other Blu-ray movies and none of them would play. Then tried regular DVDs and everyone would play. More confounding was that several other Blu-ray would play randomly. My Blu-ray DVD copy of Night of the Comet would play the DVD, but not the Blu-ray. Notice player is fried and off to Walmart for its replacement. Just passing on the story for chats and giggles. We'll be turning after the IndyCar race from St. Petersburg this Sunday, February 27th. Maybe the other way around. So I think he's probably getting a new one. Considering players, that can happen. Considering Rob tells us always his favorite Oppo player died.
Well, that was the actual laser. But when it comes to, there might have been a firmware update.
Could be
because
two.
remember, it's not like DVDs that just play. Blu-ray players are essentially software. Like they work more like computer
and considering
programs work.
I think the copy protected there is always was update needed for that kind of stuff. So this was the letter section. So do we have super chats?
Yeah, we do. Are we done with letters?
Yeah, we are done with letters. But of course, I will want to talk to you about other stuff.
By the way, on the bottom, if you want to send us letters, it does say the Burnettwork.net. I believe that link still works, but you can also go to postgeeksingularity.com,
the new one,
to see the new website. Emil Johansson says, "Can you predict how the next Bond series will be?" Oh, I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I would like to see more of a fun Bond. I mean, I think that the Mission Impossible movies have supplanted Bond films in terms of what they do. I think ultimately Daniel Craig's run as Bond for me was a failure. Ultimately, I like Casino Royale. I even kind of am a Quantum of Solace apologist, but I really thought that Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die were dour exercises. I would love to have seen Bond go on a mission. He never went on a regular mission. He never walked in and saw M. The Bond tropes were never there, and they tried to construct this. We're going to look into the psychology of Bond thing, which I don't think really worked. And the movies were beautifully made, but they're not engaging. You watch a Mission Impossible.
Luckily, they were successful. Luckily,
they were. But I'm like, if you watch Mission Impossible Fallout, that should have been a Bond movie. And I think Bond is being out-bonded. So what I would like to see is bring some fun. I'm tired of, I don't want to be James Bond. Woe is me. I want to see James Bond love being James Bond. I want to see, bring the sparkle Pierce Brosnan brought to the role in GoldenEye. Show me that.
Yeah.
Instamatic says, and this is a good one, Dieter, what is your favorite trilogy and why? Lord of the Rings, Godfather, Dark Knight, OG Star Wars, and why? Each have their merit to being the best. What do you think, Dieter? What's your favorite trilogy?
Favorite trilogy?
I'm thinking Emmanuel. No, I'm kidding.
Didn't came actually.
The third one, Emmanuel 3, is a big disappointment.
Back to the Future is pretty up high there.
It's a good one.
I don't know if you can count a movie trilogy if, like Toy Story, there's a fourth one, so it's not a trilogy anymore. But Back to the Future is pretty damn good. If you would cut out, even if Rob didn't like the last one, if you cut out Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Crystal Skull, the trilogy is pretty damn awesome. And the original Star Wars, of course.
Yeah, but you know what? It's funny to me. Return of the Jedi, I've often said, is one of the. It's the most disappointing movie I've ever seen in my life. Not that it's not good or enjoyable, but compared to the promise of the original Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, Jedi was. It felt like it was a joke. I mean, the Luke Vader Emperor scene is great. That felt like the movie that they should have been making. And the rescue of Han Solo is swashbuckling enough, but the rest of that movie is goofy, and it's not. I mean, I was looking for a different kind of a film, especially after Empire, and with Lucas, this idea that he was making a children's movie instead of making movies for the child in all of us really affected Jedi. So I can't go with the original Star Wars trilogy. I mean, and the thing with The Godfather, I think the Godfather trilogy, as much as Godfather 3 is flawed, I do think the story in Godfather 3 is still very compelling. The elements in the story are sometimes let us down. Sofia Coppola, it's not just her performance, but it's that whole storyline with Andy Garcia is not as well handled, I think, as it should be. But the idea of it was sound. Sonny Corleone's bastard son coming back and helping the family out. I like that, and I like the whole idea of Michael Corleone wanting to go legit. So I think Godfather 3 is a much better movie than a lot of people give it credit for. All they just see is the flaws of Sofia Coppola, but I actually like Godfather 3 quite a bit, and it was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. So for me, definitely The Godfather is up there, but I think the best trilogy in terms of being fully realized is The Lord of the Rings. And a lot of people argue this with me because they're like, well, Lord of the Rings is based on a series of 3 books. So is it really...
What has that to do with...
Well, people have said that... It's funny because I don't know. But to me, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is a trilogy that delivers on such a high level in terms of what it was setting out to do. So I find it to be very successful. I think it's probably the best and most satisfying. The problem with a lot of these trilogies is they were not planned to be trilogies from the beginning. Yeah. So they became trilogies later. And I think if for me, if Return of the Jedi had stuck the landing, that would probably be the best. I mean, the movie sticks the landing, but the rest of the movie with the Ewoks and really nothing of consequence happens. You literally could rescue Han Solo and then just cut to Luke going to Endor to meet Vader. The middle of that movie is completely inconsequential. I mean, you go on this trip where I know they're trying to blow up the shield generators, but it's just, I mean, the speeder bike chase is fine, but how does that advance the plot at all? It's just a speeder bike chase where they take out 2 scout troopers and then they have this action sequence that really doesn't matter as far as the plot's concerned. You're basically just watching a scene where, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of Jedi. I know everyone's going to hate me now.
Considering more modern takes, since the 4th part isn't out, I would throw in the John Wick series 1, 2, 3, since the 4th isn't out yet.
It's true. So, what about you? Well, your choices were good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, but like you said, Rob, it's normally, except for Lord of the Rings, probably none of those were planned as trilogies.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem, I think. Yeah. Emilio Hansen says, also, I support Ukraine. I think we all do. It's what's going on there is horrifying. Yeah. And let's hope it doesn't spread to the rest of Europe. I mean, I think it's really reckless and ridiculous what Putin is doing.
Yeah.
Stubble McShave says, I rewatched Branagh's Henry V yesterday. The St. Crispin's Day speech seems extra relevant these days. From this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhood cheap, whiles any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day. Zelensky, can you imagine Zelensky who's out there with his iPhone making defiant. He's like, I don't need to ride out of here. I need more guns. I mean, can you imagine Trump being that guy? Like, here's the Republican Party is out there supporting the Russians, which is unthinkable, but it's happening. And but you see Zelensky out there. I mean, he should be shouting Wolverines and showing Red Dawn to everybody. I mean, it's just like, that guy is out there. Like, I can't, and Zelensky's a Jew. 2,500 Ukrainian Jews just asked for asylum in Israel. So it's crazy, but I don't know what they're gonna do. But Zelensky is out there, man. He's Red Dawning that shit. And I think we should all watch that and think of Mr. Zelensky out there in the wild trying to evade capture. But, man, I never thought, that guy, I can't imagine an American leader being like him. Pretty amazing. Defiant. So we all support Ukraine. Absolutely. Stubble and Emil. Terrier says, the more I think about it, the more I comfy get with Tom Hiddleston going for James Bond. He could bridge action with the charm and comedy of Roger Moore. You know what? Totally. I think Tom Hiddleston would be a great choice because if you see The Night Porter, which it was like his audition to play Bond. I mean, he does have both, and I would love to see Hiddleston play it ruthless because you kind of see what he's done. I'm down. Yeah, I absolutely would watch that.
Okay, are we caught up, Rob?
We're caught up with everybody. Thanks, by the way, for all that support. I
have one or two topics. One, Rob, could you please do me a favor and save the movie The 355 that I did watch at the beginning of the week? Man, the editing of the movie from the action scenes, considering, the story is not really that exciting, so at least the action should have been, but no. The 355, I watched it so I could make a judgment. Will I buy it or don't? I won't buy the 355, unfortunately. Wasn't
wow, for you not to buy the 355. Wow.
Exactly, Rob. I am really, really shocked by this, and considering plot spoiler of the movie, they're saying someone is dead. They're only saying Rob. And I don't believe that stuff anymore. The first movie that really fooled me was Saw back in the day, where I totally believe the guy is lying on the bathroom floor is dead. And since that movie, if you don't get me here, the certificate, this person is dead, shot 50 times, I don't believe anyone is dead until I get that certificate that's actually real, and that is coming from Saw. And then they didn't show it; they just said, "Oh, he's dead." I thought, okay, he will come back, and of course, he did come back. So, Rob, perhaps you could save the movie for me with a new edit of the movie, but it will be a tough one. It will be a tough one. Rob, I watched it for a second time this week. Venom, Let There Be Garbage. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I will not go see the third Venom in the theaters. I will not. I'm done with Venom.
What about if Andrew Garfield's in the third one as Spider-Man?
I don't know, Rob. I don't know if they go further that route with that humor that doesn't track for me. No. Rob, another topic this week. Has AC/DC ever changed? Just a question, Rob. Just a question.
No. Well,
no.
Singing.
Why do they try to change the Oscars, Rob? That's what I'm getting here, Rob. Of course, some albums, every album, and even a Prince album, Rob. You hear the album in its entirety. Of course, you like songs more and other songs less, but you hear the entire album. And I don't know, I'm really on the same page as Europe, considering the Oscars. It's a show that is once a year, not every month, not every 2 months. It's once a year. So it can be, from my perspective, 4 or 5 hours, even if there are categories that probably not at my highest interest. Okay, it's now, Rob, I'm a little bit surface fan of wrestling, and wrestling, they have every 2 months or 1 month a pay-per-view event, and before the real show there is a kickoff show, where they put matches on the real card, and sometimes they put it on the kickoff show, to warm up the crowds. And this feeling I get from the Oscars, we have this category up, we put them on the kickoff show, they are not that important, so let's make it in the kickoff show, and even with wrestling, the people saying, or sometimes the pay-per-view events are too long, but these are events that are happening every 2 months, but once a year, and then we have to shorten this. I don't get it, Rob. You're listening to an AC/DC album through the whole, even if you like songs more, like songs less, and it's the same with the Oscars. I don't know why they try to change it, Rob.
Well, I think what they're trying to, we have a problem in the United States, an overall problem with how we approach things, where we don't want to look at the underlying problems, like what is the foundational cause of these things. Like the Oscars are thinking to themselves, well, here's what we have to do to get, the Oscars have been hemorrhaging audience members. Not as many people watch the Oscars. So they're thinking, the problem with the Oscars and the reason people don't watch must be the show itself. What can we do? Look, everyone knows the Oscars is a ridiculous show, but we all tune in because, we want to see the stars, we want to see the pomp and circumstance, and we want to know who wins. The reason why people aren't tuning into the Oscars isn't the show. It's the fact that movies themselves hold a very different place in our culture than they did, say, throughout the 20th century. And you had, before, a major motion picture studio would make all genres of films. It would make romantic comedies. It would make thrillers. It would make erotic thrillers. It would make political movies. It would make action films. It would make sci-fi and fantasy movies. A studio would release all of those movies. And they would all be in varying degrees of quality. Some would win Oscars, like Paul Newman in The Verdict, which is a favorite example of mine. Paramount made The Godfather and The Godfather 2, both, and The Conversation, both which won Oscars. So studios used to make a bunch of movies and people went and saw them. Movies were the cultural force in the 20th century, especially for America. Everyone went to the movies. All shapes, sizes, colors, creeds, people, all walks of life. People love the movies. Over the last 22 years, actually, and especially since 2007, with the rise of the introduction of the smartphone and more people having computers they could take everywhere, movies are no longer the primary source of entertainment. Young people are in terms of watching, they watch YouTube, they watch TikTok, they stream things. Movies are not the number one thing in their minds. For us growing up, movies were it. Movies were the greatest entertainment ever. That is not true anymore. And also the whole culture of movie stars, when you can follow somebody on Twitter or follow them on Instagram, and you've got movie stars like Dwayne Johnson, you can follow his life on Instagram. The whole idea of movie stars have been demystified. So tuning into the red carpet and seeing all of these stars parade around it doesn't hold the appeal that it used to, because now we can interact with these people on social media, or we can actually watch their lives or them play with their kids or whatever. So all of that mystique has sort of been taken away. But the studios, the big studios that have the power to distribute their movies in 4,000 screens or 5,000 screens, all they're making now are tentpole movies based on previously existing IP. They're remaking things. They're not making movies that are, in fact, Oscar-worthy. So the biggest distributors and formerly the biggest manufacturers of movies, they're not even making the kind of movies that people who are going to, when a Spider-Man No Way Home comes out and it makes tons of money. By the way, its domestic box office, I think, just passed Titanic's original release box office. So that didn't get nominations. It's not in the contest of Best Picture. And all of the companies that are making the Oscar bait movies, these are art house films. These are films that get much smaller distribution. So even I, who spent since I was a little kid, I would try and see all the Oscar nominated movies. Even I haven't seen all the Oscar-nominated films because a lot of them haven't even been distributed on a big level before the Oscar ceremony now. And that is the underlying problem. It's not the show. And they're like, well, we're going to get more people to watch the Oscars if we get rid of these categories. That's not why people will watch whatever categories you want. And if you show a good package about, I can't believe that they would get rid of something like film editing. I mean, people that work on movies the longest are the editors, other than, say, the writer or the director. But film editing and
the film is forged in the editing bay.
It's unbelievable. And as an editor myself, I'm like, wow, way to denigrate one of the editing is something that only exists, film editing, because of cinema. It is an art form that belongs only to the cinema. And to get rid of something like that is astonishing. Or I know they're still giving the awards out.
Yeah.
But the awards should not be about the audience. The problem is they need the audience response to get the money they need to keep the Motion Picture Academy going for another year. It's ridiculous. I mean, they already combined the sound categories. But again, they're trying to solve a problem that they can't solve. Their problem is not the length of the show or the categories. Their problem is the way movies are now seen by our culture. And no amount of jiggering the show around or whatever you're going to do is going to change the audience perception of that. The movies that people are going to see, the big budget, spectacular films that everybody rolls out for, are no longer the movies that people are going out to or the award movies. So people are like, the general population is like, I've never even heard of these movies. Not only that, I haven't seen them, so why should I care? So that's why the viewership for the Oscars have dropped. You know, and even us as kids, dude, I lived for the Oscars when I was 8, 9, and 10 years old because I love movies, and that's how I found out about movies. 8, 9, and 10-year-olds, they don't care about movies. They care about video games. They're playing Minecraft or whatever, Fortnite or whatever. They don't give a shit about movies anymore. I mean, they'll go see movies like Marvel movies, but, you know, Marvel video games are just as important to them as a Marvel movie is. The world has changed, but the Academy is still trying to make sure that we're living in 2001. So
for me, they didn't had to change anything about the show. And considering, like you said, I'm bleeding guilty. I have not seen all of the best movie pictures this year, so I couldn't even judge it if let's say Tick Tick Boom would win, if it's the best movie in that category. But if the movie wins, I will take even more notice. Even Rob was making the promotion rounds for it, but if it would win the Academy Award, I would say, okay, I probably should get on that movie and watch it. But for me, I don't understand it. And like I said, it's just once a year. Like you said, it, I think in the Tomorrow show of Midnight Metal, it was tomorrow here. It could be 6 hours for me. Wouldn't be a problem. It's once a year, not every month or 2 months. So you need to shorten it. So this was my take on the Oscars, Rob. And considering this week, could we just stop popping champagne considering Uncharted and its recording box office? You know, it's still a long way to go. Okay? So stop popping the champagne already. Considering next week will come the Batman, and probably we won't hear anything anymore about the Uncharted movie. Okay? And Rob, isn't it great if you're an actor and you just find out that you're in a movie? You don't have to do a new audition, you know? You're just in the new Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't know it. That was my little bit of topics, Rob, that I got this week.
Yeah. That's a good topic. A good topic. But yeah,
have you heard anything from the cast? Are they up for it?
They're always up for it. Who knows?
Okay.
Pay the money. Pay the money. No, but look. It's an interesting. I just feel like, you know, it's interesting here in California. We have a tremendous homeless problem. All right. So what they think they're going to try and do is they pass bills or bonds or whatever to build more affordable housing. Well, our affordable housing to build is $600,000 a unit. $600,000 a unit. First of all, the housing problem, it's the housing problem that we have here in the United States is not necessarily one of housing itself. It's the fact that we have people that are on the streets, mentally ill people, we have addicts that we're not helping. And because there's a lot of money in having to help people. And then when they do find ways to build more housing, then everyone, because it's a government thing, everyone has to have their taste. So then the cost of making affordable housing becomes $600,000 a unit, which is not affordable housing. And so the homeless problem continues to get larger. We don't address the underlying issues of addiction and mental illness, because then you'd have to house these people someplace while they're getting the care that they need. And that would cost everybody a lot of money that nobody wants to spend, because there is no profit in doing that. By helping our homeless population that's addicted and mentally ill, you don't get money back from helping those people. But a society like ours should see the value in helping people for its own sake. But we don't, because there's no profit to be had. And so the homeless problem continues. They try and build more housing for people that's not affordable, that's too expensive, because then everyone has to get rich doing it, and the problem persists. And I think that's the same thing that's happening with the Oscars. The Oscars, they're not looking at the underlying problems or the problem they have with their losing viewers. Well, that's because movies are less relevant in our society. So the real question that the Academy should be asking themselves is, how as an art form can we make sure that more movies that people want to see are getting made? I mean, it's simple as that. But we're not addressing that issue. Let's actually take filmmaking, the art of film, production design, the motion picture score, the music, the editorial. Let's those clearly
Kickoff show.
Someone said those aren't interesting enough to people, so we're going to take them away from the live show. I mean, this is happening across American society. It's happening in our educational system. It's happening everywhere. People are deciding that what are the foundational principles of life, like education. Let's cut back on education. Let's spend the least amount of money we can and expect our citizens to be highly educated. This is what America does. And it's like we should be thinking the exact opposite. We should be paying money for healthcare and education, because we need a well-educated and a healthy population, or everything else that we have will fall by the wayside. We don't even teach civics anymore. Americans don't even understand how their own government works, or they don't even understand what the First Amendments are, the Second Amendment, the 15th Amendment, the 17th Amendment. They don't understand any of this. And we are choking ourselves to death through all the things that we deem important and our devotion to the almighty dollar. And we're living in a world where there are people that are stomping on our faces and we don't yet know it. But anyway, that's just a rant. Sorry about that. I don't mean to get political with everybody, but I'm just talking about in general. So Stubble McShave says, oh, wait, there's more. Chris C. says, Return of the Jedi is way better than Blade Runner. Well, I think it's a much more, I think Blade Runner and Return of the Jedi are, aside from both being science fiction, they're very hard to compare and contrast, because one is trying to do something
Exactly.
the other is not trying to do. But I can understand that. I think Return of the Jedi is probably wildly entertaining to some people, whereas Blade Runner is a snooze. It really depends what you're looking for, so I can see that. Insomatics says, 10 years ago, my friends and I used to buy a 24 slab of beer, dress up in suits and dresses, and watch the Oscars and celebrate the movies. And now it's all corporate, and it feels fake in a sense. Well, I don't think you're wrong, but I wish if you have pictures of that, all those 24 beers and dress up in suits, I'd love to see pictures. We'll play them on this show in Somatic. Send them in. Stubble McShave says, editing has been a part of movies since the second movie, after they saw what a mess the first movie was. The score has been part of the movies since the early silent era. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Famously, Steven Spielberg was at the Hollywood Bowl one year when John Williams conducts, and they showed the opening of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade without music. And then they showed it with music, and you see how different it was. Ron C. sends in, dude, a very, very nice super chat. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Ron says, Rob, I finished a reading book for film, Chainsaw Confidential, from 2013 by Gunnar Hansen. Excellent book for filming a horror movie. I didn't care for the new
Wasn't Dave mentioned that book?
Dave talked about that. So, Ron C., last night, Dave Parker was on Midnight Metal, and we were talking about the Texas Chainsaw franchise. And Dave brought up that book, and he also shares your enthusiasm for it. So Gunnar Hansen played Leatherface in the original Texas Chainsaw. And this book, I guess, 2013, was published 9 years ago.
Covers the shoot of the movie.
Yeah, it covers the shoot of the movie, which is very, very cool. So that is most excellent. So awesome. Appreciate that, Ron, and thank you so much for supporting the channel in that way. You know what? Now, after 2 mentions of Chainsaw Confidential in less than 24 hours, I'm gonna have to go buy that book. Gonna have to buy that book, Dieter.
That's the perfect advertising for it. Rob, I totally forgot. I got a special edition.
Oh, well, if you got a special edition, of course you should show it. But the answer on the show, Dieter, is always yes.
Yeah.
Show it.
It's an old one, but since you're on the John Campea show, and one of those guys, Ray, is a big fan of the Halo series. Ooh. This is back from the 360 era. This is Halo Reach that came in this special edition.
Wow.
And I haven't opened it in a long time. Let's just see what's inside the box. It opens this way. So you get it out. It's a little bit like a black box. So we've got the game, but the game is not a steelbook, just normal packaging. And let's see what I've got inside, Rob. It says top secret information, and it's even packaged that way. You know, you've got one of the Halo company logos on the back. Top secret for our eyes only, Rob. Let's see. I haven't opened this in a long time. I don't know what actually was in this one. So
looks pretty cool, though. Wow. Is this the right way? So this, and how do I open this up now? I don't know.
Here. Here
ooh.
It goes this way. Okay.
Look at that.
Oh, and there, what looks like a poster, I believe. And here we have a lot of. It reminds me a little bit of swag props, you know.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah.
But what he does, you know, it's all top secret information. I don't know if they used it for new Halo series. I have no idea. So we've got a lot of notes here, and it reminds me a little bit of swag props work.
Yeah, that's really cool.
What is this? Oh, here we have. What is this? I have no idea. Some alien in it. So it's really, really nicely done, considering the writing. It looks a little bit more like handwritten. So what is left here? Just check. Oh, swag. We have a little bit of swag in it here. I'm losing all the swag. A little bit of a patch.
That's a pretty sweet special edition, though.
A little bit of a patch. More pictures here. From of the Galaxy, Rob, where something is clearly important. Inter-system news, like a little bit of a newspaper article. And what have we here, Rob? For your comfort, I have no idea, Rob, what this is or what this was.
I couldn't tell you.
The Master Chief. And what did I drop? Rob? Oh, a little bit of a chip card, you know.
Wow.
For perhaps
They went all out with that one.
Yeah. Wait, I think there was more in it. If I can get it out. Yeah, there was a lot of in it. These cards were in it, which showed, like a fingerprint.
Wow, dude.
Candidate.
Now, how long ago did you get that? Come on, man.
It was for the 360. I actually don't even know how old this edition is. So a lot of swag. I can't even figure out what this all was from.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a pretty impressive special edition you have.
Yeah. From Halo Reach, perhaps Ray can tell you more about it.
Wow. Well, there you go. I will ask him.
A little map. So this was my special edition, Rob.
I liked it.
Xbox 360 Halo Reach special edition with a lot of swag. I don't know what it was anymore. You could do a deep dive with it. That's for sure.
Well, I guess we can bring this party to a close. Next week, Dieter, things that are coming out. Thriller. See, I didn't order that Thriller Cruel Picture because it's listed here as coming out, but I'm still not going to get it. But I'm waiting for the Vinegar Syndrome.
You're waiting on the Vinegar Syndrome? Okay.
Yeah. Synapse Films is putting out Argento's Phenomenon in 4K. The Matrix 4-film Deja Vu collection's coming out in 4K. And I actually ordered that because I only have The Matrix in 4K, and now I have them all.
It's with the new one?
Yeah, with the new one. 4-film Deja Vu collection. A TV movie called Starflight 1, The Plane That Couldn't Land, is coming out. Which I can't believe, but hey, what's wrong with that? And then, of course, the James Bond Daniel Craig collection in 4K is coming out, and Belfast is coming out. So it's not, and Coming to America, the sequel, is coming out on Blu-ray. So it's not a big week.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot to show next week. I don't know if I'm going to get some more things I ordered. Maybe you say there's no movement on the Dune discs. There's some movement.
On your for your copies for Bill and Darren, actually no. But like I said, probably Charles will get his tomorrow.
Well, he's in Georgia,
Atlanta.
so I understand.
He's a little bit closer.
He's a little bit closer.
But I'll keep you informed if there should be a change.
Well, I appreciate that. So on that note, Dieter.
Yeah.
I think it's time to bring a close to Let's Get Physical Media, episode 61, dude. 61.
Unbelievable.
It's a lot. It's many Sundays.
Yeah. So, Rob, what about your moderating staff?
Oh, of course. I want to thank my moderating staff. We've got, of course, Brian Hepburn, who's always here. We love Brian Hepburn. Yeah. Tom Jr. Jackson, who I make moderators for our midnight show. So
Brian, by Psycho Gorman.
Yeah, come on, Brian. Psycho Gorman, man. Justin Toner. I think Justin was here, right?
Probably.
He was in. So, Justin, thank you.
Thomas here.
And I want to thank everybody who generously supports this channel via Super Chats and tips. And, we had another, if you become a member of the channel, you can become a member of the channel for as little as $1 a month support. And we have member calls. And yesterday we had a 3.5-hour member call, which is a lot of fun. We do them every other week, and I get to see all of you beautiful people. And it's fun seeing everybody, and we just, you ask me questions, and I try and come up with cogent responses. So it's a lot of fun, and I want to thank everybody
Everyone
for
gets 10 minutes with you.
It's true, by God. So, yeah, so that's it. There we go. And this brings to a stop this episode. So lay it on me, Dieter.
Jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören. And don't forget, people, scream for me, screamer. I'm a rock believer.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen. There will be a Robservations tonight at 8 p.m.
Awesome.
And I'm going to be on Justin's channel for a live stream.
Do we have a topic for the observation that you can?
Yes.
Tell us about?
Yes, I do have a topic for Robservations, and it is. I'll tell you what I'm going to talk about on Robservations tonight. Hang on, I must call it up for you. And let's see. As I look, I am going to be talking about an article, if I'm looking at it, in Esquire magazine.
Yeah.
The article was published. The article is, it's I'm trying to hang on. I can't call it up. Will the Batman force Marvel into changing for the better?
Oh,
so we're going to talk about that. It's an Esquire magazine. Everybody can watch that. So there you go. So on that note, Dieter, I think it's time to say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah. And fingers crossed that Bill and Darren's tune will arrive before you move.
Oh, I think it will. And if not, I can forward it. We'll see. It'll be fine.
Okay.
It'll be fine. All right, everyone. Remember, Star Trek Picard Season 2 starts on March 3rd,
Are we excited yet?
Oh, I'm so excited. You know, I saw that clip. People were firing guns, phasers, whatever, and it's just guns. Let's kill a bunch of people. It's Star Trek Picard.
The Knicks are playing tonight.
It's the Star Trek murder hour. But you know what? Hope springs eternal. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it will. I do. Hope springs eternal. I tune in. I don't want to hate Star Trek Discovery as much as I do, but every week it's like having a hot poker stuck up my ass, and not in a good way. So on that note, Dieter, I'm going to leave you with this. Look at that. Dieter shredding. Oh, yeah.